Hey y'all, I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 9, Partying Ways, or whatever. We gonna go ahead and jump into it. Y'all know from Married at First Sight and Married at First Sight only, I go couple by couple because even though the season's been boring, like it's a lot of information still. So we gonna go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna give y'all the best that I got. If you've been here before and you haven't yet subscribed, like what are we doing? Like, just hit the button. Just go ahead and click the button. It don't cost you nothing. It don't take no time. But y'all know it helps me out a ton to grow my channel. If you're new here and you enjoy the content, be sure to like and subscribe. I promise you'll like it here. Check out my other content. And let's go ahead and jump into it. Domynique and McKinley. We just gonna go ahead and take it there. So we pick up with Dom and Mac talking to Pastor Cal. That's how we ended off last week. Mac was saying he's a loser, and I'm like, this is not the first time like he was just doing this Debbie Downer nonsense. Like, why are you like talking about yourself this way? I think he's looking for pity. Like he wants Dom to be the villain, and he wants everybody like he want to have like, oh, what was me? Like I was just a guy living in my friend's parents' basement. You chose to pack your bags and move to Nashville to come on this show. However the outcome was going to be, you had no control over that. So you made the decision. Your mama even tried to pay you to get out of it, according to you. So Dom says she's over it. And Pastor Cal said, over what? I know that's right, Pastor Cal. Be specific. Dom says, you know what? I just want a divorce. And Pastor Cal said, maybe, just maybe, 25 was too young. Duh. I don't think we had like a bunch of 20 something year olds since like the earlier seasons. Like, yes. And it wasn't even like 20, because I said this before. Like, when I was 25, I think I was ready to have been a wife, but I had life experience. I already had a child. I had already been through a divorce. You know, a lot more life experience than Dom seems to have. She's very just immature. So she's a young acting 25-year-old, yet y'all had the audacity, the nerve of it all to put old soul. Where? Who? Her mama must have put that down there for herself when she filled out the application. So I know McKinley's upset. But you know, it's like, look, according to the streets now, this is alleged. Didn't you go somewhere else to try to get on the show? And then you came. So were your intentions all that genuine too? I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is they about to be in his DMs. That's what I know. So Pastor Cal says she's quitting after the first bump in the road. More importantly, is she gonna have to pay that early divorce fee? She getting out the contract early. Is she gonna have to pay her way? Because I heard there was a hefty fine if you try to divorce early. Y'all remember, this don't got nothing to do with nothing, but remember that one couple where the girl was treating the guy so bad? I can't remember the season. It was when like one of the old experts was on there. And remember the expert had got with the guy who was mistreated, and then they ended up getting married like years later. I'm like, not like Mac might have an outcome like that. Like, oh, he was treated so bad, and then he gonna luck up and like come up. That's what I'm thinking might happen with him. Anywho, so after she leaves, she packing up her box with her dirty chucks, just crying. They both shed a tear. For what? Mac, why are you crying? You ain't know her. You want to be on the show, you got on it. So you still are getting your shine and your time. It only lasts for 10 minutes anyway. We can't even call it 15 minutes fame. It's like 10 minutes because by the MAFS come out with these seasons so often. By the time next season come around, we ain't gonna remember y'all anyway. I mean, I'm just being honest. So milk out this little bit of time. You got it, and you good. And why are you crying? You on your chucks. You wanted this. You ain't never want to be on here to begin with, and you just couldn't tell your mother no. So later on, Dom meets with her mom for lunch. I recognize Mama with the micros. I saw somebody at the grocery store with micros the other day, and I said, "Is micros making a comeback?" Then I turned on the TV, Moesha on, and I'm like, "Micros must be trying to come back." But that's neither here nor there. Dom's mom is disappointed that they're not having their housewarming. She was really excited for it. It seemed like Mama just want to be on TV. I'm just saying. But why is Dom meeting with her mom anyway? Like, we didn't really need this. I guess it was just to fill up some space and some time. If anything, I'd rather see Mac talking to his family friends. So Her mom is low-key saying Dom wasn't patient and didn't give him enough time. Of course, she didn't. Of course, she could have given the full 8 weeks or at least a month. At least a month. It's been 2 weeks. Like, at least move into the shared apartment. She literally was grasping at straws trying to find a reason to get out of this. Like, this was the worst divorce, like early divorce, I think I've seen. And out of all of Married at First Sight, and I've been watching since season 1. I understand that she wanted him to be established, but it's just the way she's handling it that's just making her look very like young-minded and immature. And she's talking about, because the mom was like, did you give him a chance to change those things you were concerned about? She's like, I'm not here to change nobody. It's not about changing the person, but you are going to have to change some of your ways and some things about yourself in a marriage. Like, you can't just stay how you were prior to being married, because you're married now. You have to make compromises. You have to do some things that you might not want to do because that's what you do in a marriage. But whatever. She'll learn when she meet her next husband. So at the group meeting, Mac tells the other couples that he and Dom made the decision to get divorced. No, she made the decision to get divorced. Y'all didn't make nothing. So of course everyone asks why, and Dom takes no accountability and blames him, even though she played a part in this divorce as well. Mac said, look, I was the one doing all the compromising, not you, so don't even try it. Clint said, look, divorce is the easy way out. But, what you should do is try to work it out. If you want to take the easy way out and get divorced, okay. Nicole tells Dom she's going to regret not trying. And she asks if there's any hope. And Dom said, maybe. And everyone was like, ooh, yeah, cheers to maybe. Clinking their glasses, their plastic red cups. And I'm like, this girl's in them here lying, in my opinion. Because why are y'all, what? And then I start getting excited over maybe. If it ain't a firm yes, honey, it's a no. So back at their shared apartment, Dom feels like that was just a lot. It was a lot of pressure on her, where everybody like telling them to work it out. Mac asks Dom why she said maybe. And she puts the blame on everybody else. Girl, you could have gave it a firm no. Like, no, this is the right decision for me. You had to be nasty about it, but you could have been like firm, like, no, I made the right decision. No, there's no turning back. But you did not. Mac asked if she said maybe because of peer pressure, and she said yes. Girl, you wasn't ready. This is a grown-up game here, and you ain't ready for it. You ain't been looking grown up the last few seasons, but it's a marriage is a grown-up game, not child's play. And it really, someone's parent, nobody should be able to fill out an application for somebody. When she came on there and told them, my mom filled out the application, that should have been the end of that. She shouldn't have been able to get past that, like the beginning stages. Once she told that her mom filled out the application, that should have been the end of it. Because nobody's mother should be filling out no application for them, period. But whatever. Dom said she wouldn't mind being friends, but Mac was like, I don't want to be your friend. I ain't signed up for friendship. This is Married at First Sight. Married. She's feeling bad about herself, but oh well. Girl, you bought it on yourself. And yeah, they about to be dragging you all through these Twitter streets. She said she's going to go on a soul-searching journey. Girl, you are not the victim. Like, try somebody else. But not us. We ain't falling for it. Max still wants to find his wife. And I think he will. Probably right after this. Moving on to Airris and Jasmine. Oh, Jasmine. Baby, pick your head up. Pick it up. Stand up. So Airris met with his cousin. You know the one. The cousin that everybody trying to say they must. I don't think it's nothing like that. I don't think she want him. I think, but she is standoffish. Like, I can see why people saying that. I don't believe that to be so. Maybe they grew up more, because he said on the after party that they first cousins, so they could have grew up real close, like siblings. So it's like, yeah, that's your cousin, but they could be more like have a relationship that's more like brother and sister, and maybe that's why, she's so invested in this. But he can't wait to tell her that once again, he tell anybody that listen that he's not attracted to Jasmine, but she's extremely attracted to him. Oh, I hate it for her. He said he knows he can count on her, but besides the fact that he knows that she'll be there for him, like there's no sexual attraction. I think he lost sexual attraction in Jamaica when he was at that table telling her to do them yoga poses, downward dog, and all that. And she was like, no, you're going to have to put in a little bit more work. You can't just get it just because you want it. Like, that's when he lost interest. He lost interest that day and they ain't never come back. Because if she would have gave it up, we wouldn't be having this conversation now, would we? So, and then when she came out with that lingerie, I ain't hearing no, I'm not really sexually attracted. It wasn't none of that. But when she told you no, now you've lost interest. He is a DOG. So, he claims when he comes home, he goes straight to sleep. I know that's taking a blow to her self-esteem. He tells his cousin, Jasmine said, of course, because she's like, how does she feel about it? And he was like, she took it like, a mature lady. She handled it like a lady, because that's just how she is. That's just what she do. And she said, look, of course I want my husband to jump my bones, but she understands that he's not there yet and hopes he'll get there. And cousin feels like Jasmine is fake and she's giving textbook answers. How you gonna be fake in a time like this? Somebody tell you, your husband tell you he's not attracted to you and you think her response is fake? Girl, don't. Why did the producers want her back? Like, why? This cousin. Anyway, she feels that if there's a lack of attraction and it's bothering Jasmine, Jasmine should just be woman enough to say so. She did. She said, it's bothering me. I want my husband to want me, but since he don't, like, what else is she supposed to do? Like, she hopes he'll get there. She did say it. Just because she ain't say it the way you wanted her to say it, don't mean she ain't say it. Listen to what she said. So you only going off of what he's saying anyway. That's first of all. You won't even get a girl a chance. Won't even talk to her. It don't matter who, and I don't even think it's just Jasmine. It don't matter who would have walked down that aisle. Whoever it was, cousin knew that this was not about to work, and she already had it in her mind that she was not going to give whomever it was a chance. It don't matter. It could have been a dog walking down the aisle. She wasn't going to get a dog a chance. So Airris invites his cousin to their housewarming, but his cousin declines and says she's not going to get invested in something she knows is not going to work. Well, well, it ain't. Well, she ain't wrong there. I mean, it's not. So she asked Airris if he wants to be a husband. He said, he do, but he's just getting in his own head. He's getting his own way. I think for him, it's the fact that Jasmine is like not going away. Like, she's there. Like, you made an ultimate commitment. You married her. And even though, you can get out in 8 weeks or whatever, like, he's probably never... He said he's never lived with anybody. It's like it's so much that he's not used to. He just as immature as Domynique is. And he about 40. You about 40 years old. You just as immature as a 25-year-old. And mentally he's younger than that because he said he still is like a little boy waiting for his dad to come home. That's a red flag. He has his own healing he should have been working on, not coming on this show. But I think, like, it's the fact that he made this such a huge commitment and he can't just walk away. Like, he has to still stay here and film and live in an apartment with her and all that stuff. Like, it's too much for him. And he don't want to commit. But she was like, well, then be a husband. If you want to be a husband, then be one then. Then do it. If you say you want to do it, then do it then. And have sex with your wife. Period. But I think it's better for Jasmine if they don't have sex. I think it's best to not have that soul tie because then it's really going to give like Paige and Chris season 12 and it's going to be harder for her to let him go. Later at the apartment, Airris seems as if he feels the way that Jasmine didn't want his cousin to come over there. Like he hinting or like it's like coming off like he feeling the way. Your cousin called me fake. She can't come to my house, period. And he needs to do a better job of protecting his wife. Like, that's your wife. So at this point, when you made that decision, your wife has to come first. So he's talking about, who knows, maybe a year from now, Cousin's Night, we might be laughing at this. A year from now, y'all, he gonna be somebody that you used to know, honey. That's all. So at their housewarming, Jasmine said, all four of her dogs sleep in the bed with her. She got a king-size bed and all this stuff. And her family is confused as to why Airris is, like, looking away. He's not a dog person. That's number one. I like dogs, but I don't even want one dog in the bed with me. So 4 dogs in the bed with you? Who, girl, that's a lot. That's a bit much. That's a lot. That's a lot. Maybe she was sleeping in the bed with all them dogs. She said she was single. She just wanted to have comfort or something. But that would have been a lot for me too. Especially when he don't even have any. So they touch on communication and how they're terrible at it in relationships. And, they mention his cousin, but I'm tired of talking about the cousin, so I don't really care. So then they go off with each other's friends and family like they like to do. Airris talks to the aunt and her cousin or friend or whoever that was and said he'll be super excited if Jasmine, because she said, how would you feel if Jasmine decided to get rid of her dogs? Which is an odd question because she's not going to decide to get rid of her dogs. I hope not. He said he would be super excited. Selfish. Instead of saying like, no, you should keep your dogs, you talking about you'll be super excited. Then he said the grown dog can stay, but the rest of them can go. Jasmine immediately tells his friends that they're not having sex. Girl, stop bringing it up. Ugh, like what you want them to say? What you want them to do? Like, ain't nothing they can't give you no advice. Stop mentioning it. Everybody don't need to know y'all bedroom or lack thereof business. So at the group gathering, when they meet with the other couples, Mac asked if they're doing a grown-up, and Jasmine was like, no, hanging her head low, shaking her head low. And she says no because he's not attracted to her. I know it hurts. I know it hurts, girlfriend, but stand up. Like, at least in front of, especially in front of Airris. Do not give him all that power to think that he can, like, affect you so much. Like, okay, like, okay. I would have pulled a Clint. When I ain't really wasn't all that attracted to you either. I was just trying to, go with the process, the journey of it all. I would have sat up there and pulled me a Clint. And let go of his arm. Always hanging on to him. It's like the more he don't want her, the more she wants him. Like before she was like not in a rush to have sex or nothing. And now she like, oh, I want him sexually, but he don't want me. It's sad. It's sad to watch. Gina says, look, y'all ain't alone. Y'all are not the only ones. You sure right about that? Because none of y'all like each other. At least there's all, besides Nicole and Chris aside. And then we saw it for the previews next week. Chris said Nicole was a little too thick for him. He don't normally go that thick. So, it seemed like one person in the couple, if not both, is not attracted to the other person. Speaking of Gina, Clint and Gina. So, Clint is out throwing a frisbee with his friend at the park. Without a dog, like, that caught me, because I feel like, do people just be throwing frisbees? Like, if you don't have a dog or kids, like, why is you just outside throwing frisbees? But, I don't know, maybe that's, like, an activity that people do like to do. It was just unusual. Like, if we're going to get together, everybody else meeting, having dinner and stuff, they eating lunch. Why we got to be throwing frisbees out here in this hot heat? So, Clint is telling his friend that they're not attracted to each other. I still think that he was, and I think he still might be attracted to Gina. It's just her comments that she made. Friend said attraction can grow. But Clint lit up. He started talking about her dog, and he lit up. He was more excited to talk about the dog than Gina. He said she claims not to like redheads, but her dog got the same colored hair. Clint is funny. Like, I don't know. Gina, girl, you... See, because Karen wasn't like a mouse, so she realized a whole bunch of other ladies was, and she said yes on decision day. And we might have that here, too. So Gina's moving in to the other bedroom. They're not sleeping in the same bedroom, but she is moving in. More than we can say for Domynique and McKinley. So it's a start. It's progress. Gina said, look, I got to show my salon, and I'm going to do that if I don't do nothing else. So if I got to move in, I got to do what I got to do. Clint and Gina are having their Mexican-themed housewarming party like they said they wanted to do. And Clint is surrounded by all women. He handled it well. Clint seems like he's a fun time. I don't know. But I'm not sure why Gina's friend was in that confessional with that jean jacket with that popped collar. Is popped collars making a comeback too? I don't know what's going on. So they both want to work on their marriage. Moving on, at the group meeting, Gina was all smiles saying Clint is a good cook, and it was all ladies and he was handling himself well. She can bring her salon friends around him because she can't go on an episode without mentioning that salon, of course. He said, I'll be putting in extensions in no time. See what I'm saying? He's funny without even trying to be. But now y'all did say that he was kissing Domynique. I didn't see that clip. Like, that episode y'all said y'all saw that. I was watching and I didn't see that. Like, where was he? I didn't see that clip. So, let's get to that episode. Because how we go from, they getting back on track. Maybe there's hope to him kissing Domynique. And why is Domynique still there? You said you want a divorce. That means I don't want to see you no more till the reunion. And really, they got divorced so fast. Like, do you even deserve to come to the reunion? Moving on, Nicole and Chris. She another one, girl. Stand up. Stand up. Nicole has lunch with her friend, and all she's worried about is that her strong personality will push Chris away. You more worried about it than he is. It will if you keep thinking about it. But I don't think he's as pushover that Nicole thinks he is. Like, I think the friends of family was saying like he was in previous relationships, but he said firmly on the honeymoon that he used to be, and he's not gonna let nobody push him over no more. And he meant that, and he showed it when he said, "Look, I'm renewing my lease, and I don't know what you're gonna do. You better renew yours, because you ain't moving in with me." So that wasn't a clear indication. I don't know what is. I just feel like she's gonna be the one doing all the bending, and she has been thus far. So Nicole feels like, she's waiting for the other shoe to drop, but she thinks if things don't work out, then it's gonna be because of her. She's placing all the blame on herself. I can see that it's easy for people to like manipulate her in relationships because you blaming yourself. Like, you play it's just two people in a relationship now, not one. So you can't be doing all this compromising, and then you're gonna end up with resentment. So Nicole got flamingo shirts for the theme of their party and asked Chris if he wanted to wear it. At first he said yeah, he'll wear it. And then after like the 12th, she asked like 10 different times if you want to wear it. Like, well, if you don't want to wear it, just let me know. Well, if you don't want to wear it, well, you don't have to wear it if you don't want to. Just let me know. If I wasn't here, would you want to wear it? Finally, after the 25th time, he said no. She's so concerned about what's important to him, but like, what's important to you? He can put on a shirt for, it was given Kristen and Mitch from last season. Like, he can put a shirt on for a second if it makes you happy. My goodness. Anyway, they wore a Hawaiian attire instead. When somebody asked, like, "Oh, you already had that shirt in your closet?" I think the matching shirts would have been like a corny, cute thing. Like, I just got married. Like, I don't know. So Nicole couldn't help but to bring the shirts up because obviously it's still on her mind. And she said she's glad that Chris put his foot down and said no. Are you? Because I feel like I want a man to be firm and like be a leader and all that stuff, but don't be going around telling me, especially for something like that. Like, you can compromise and put the shirt on. Goodness. It wasn't even that big of a deal. And he didn't put his foot down. That's not quite how it went. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Fine. No. That's how it went. So they go off with each other's friends. And while Chris friend Devontae had to be late, I was going to say something. But Black History Month is over. And I know how sensitive y'all can be. So I'm going to just leave it alone. But Devontae, we got to do better now. So her friends make her seem like she's pushy, and that's not good. Like, are you trying, like, why are you saying all these things about her? Like, are you trying to scare him? What are you trying to do? Like, some friends, my goodness. Chris said he hasn't seen that side, and neither have we yet. Because it reminded me of Mindy when she's like, "Ooh, you don't even see how crazy I could be. Like, I can be crazy." Like, okay, why are you trying to convince us so hard? Like, okay, we got it. So Nicole tells Chris friends that she basically in so many words, she want to be the opposite of his exes because they was all pushing him over, and she want to be the opposite of that, and she don't want him to, like, she don't want to be walking all over him, so she gonna let him walk all over her instead. Mac asked the group at the group setting, like, if any of the couples consummated their marriage. We know only Nicole and Chris did because they're the only couple that has a mustard seed of hope. Shaquille and Kirsten. Woo-wee. Shaquille and Kirsten are boring. Boring. Snooze fest. But let's go ahead and get into it. What they did have, we gonna get there, but basically, and we gonna get there real soon because they didn't give us much. But they had married friends at their housewarming, and I would like to see. I think that's good to incorporate that. Like, we need more like married people, not just people who's married first, but we need to incorporate more like if you have a married friend, so you can get advice from people who have already been married, they're already in a marriage, like, just to hear what they have to say, or even maybe people have been divorced, so you can hear like what not to do, something. But we started in the beginning of the episode, Shaq was acting like he worked for AAA and was putting air in her tires, and she happy about that. And then at their housewarming, They had their friends come over. The friends was married. Good idea. Kirsten said the honeymoon got romantic. When? What? Whose honeymoon? You talking about the other people that was a honeymoon in there? Cause what? Who? I know the cameras can't catch everything, but watching y'all is like watching paint dry. But I feel like she be putting on. She be putting on in front of people. She be putting on in front of them cameras. And Shaq already told us in the after. See, the after party is getting a little spicy this season because they supposed to act like when they're talking about it, like they're talking about it like it just happened, even though we know it's already done and over with by the time they come back and be talking about it. But it's like he already told us that she be putting on, the camera crew, they leave for the night, they bye, see y'all in the morning. She ain't touching rubbing his bald head and none of that no more. Okay, ain't locking arms, nothing. So one friend wondered, well, how romantic did it get? And they said, y'all want to know if we consummated the marriage? Clearly not. The chemistry is not giving. So they confirmed nothing went down. And then the friend said, look, I'm not even getting kiss energy. I don't think y'all kiss. I'm not getting no kiss energy. Kirsten confirmed that they haven't kissed because she's not a good kisser. Girl, you sound just about silly as Domynique. Okay, what? Even the friends, it was like, well, you need to let your husband be the judge of that. Like one husband was like, look, the only way you gotta he can be the judge of that. You have to kiss him a lot for him to make that determination. So they go off with each other's friends, and Shaq is concerned that he's being too patient. Sir, you gonna be in that friend zone forever if you keep moving like where you moving. But that's just my opinion, okay? Her friend says Shaq needs to know when to be dominant. And Shaq's friends try to encourage Kirsten with the lack of attraction of it all on her side. They were saying they were friends for a year. They weren't attracted to each other. And one day it just clicked. Like he just looked at her and was like, I've been like, you was right up under my nose and I've been letting this good thing like slip on by all this time. Like that's good for y'all. That's a great story. But see, that's why we can't. That's y'all testimony. Okay. We don't have a year. We got 6 weeks left. Kirsten doesn't know, but she don't even be thinking about decision day. She don't even know she can see herself with him. So that's a no as of right now, because I think he asked her, like, could you see yourself being with him? And right now, it's looking like a no, because if it ain't yes, it's a no. Honey, I done fell in love with somebody in 2 weeks, and I got a child to prove it. Years later, there's a child walking around to prove it. So, I mean, I don't know. It can happen, but I don't know if I see it happening with these two. So at the group meeting, Shaq and Kirsten try to encourage Jasmine and Airris. None of y'all got room to be encouraging or giving advice or nothing to nobody. Because all y'all marriages is terrible. Trash. Garbage. But anyway, they try to encourage them with their issues with attraction. Shaq said Kirsten wasn't attracted to him at first, but now she keep rubbing his bald head. Just as she rubbing your bald head, she probably like trying to feel like, girl, can I deal with this forever? Ooh, like, can I just get over the fact that I wanted a man with waves on swim, but I got this bald head here. I mean, that really don't mean nothing. She won't even kiss you. So if she won't even kiss you, that says a lot. Because if you can't kiss, you gonna want to start kissing when that's your man, my man, my man, my man. But that was the end of the episode. Y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think about this episode in the season thus far. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.